All right, so our man basket is 47 inches inside the floor. Let's go for easy logs.
Okay.
Let's check those couple right there.
Oh, easy.
Easy, okay. And what about the one behind it?
Yep.
Okay, so that edge over there is tapered and this one's pretty square, but I think you'll still get it. So let's start with this one and let's see if we can get it put down gently, right? This morning we spent pretty much all the time that I thought it would take the entire day to get the floor cut for the man basket. I looked through our boneyard and I hoped that we had some good wood for the boneyard, and we don't. I'd like to get 2-inch thick floorboards for this thing. And so what did? We went and got the sawmill. Well, I'm glad we did because there was actually an issue. It wasn't running. So we spent the entire morning getting the sawmill running. I know you small engine people out there know about this ethanol garbage. I've heard rumors, but we have not really had it happen to us yet, where we get an engine that's gummed up. And we were running E10 or ethanol, mixed gas in this thing. That's what's recommended. I think it finally bit us. So I ended up talking to Rob from Woodmiser. Rob, you're awesome. Thanks for always picking up the phone. And he had me just do some couple things to the carburetor. We did the usual check it for fuel, check it for spark, check it for all this stuff. We get it to run, so we knew it wasn't like an oil pressure sensor or something. Turns out there's a small fuel solenoid shut off that's attached to the ignition that was not allowing fuel into the carburetor. So finally, we got the sawmill to run. I didn't know if we were gonna get that done today. So that's where we're at. We're gonna be making the lumber for the man basket floor, and then we're gonna move on to doing paint prep. Okay, good. So go ahead and pick it up. So what you want to do is you don't want to be using your thumb necessarily to drop stuff. You can, but it's actually easier to use your bucket. So if your thumb is fixed and you just open your bucket, it has the same effect as opening the thumb. Does that make sense? So set your thumb, like right there. Don't move it. Now open your bucket and then go down and then use your bucket to pick it up. Perfect. See how it's one motion? Good. So the temptation is going to be to open your bucket. Okay, don't do it. So I'm going to put these back guards up and then I'll have you set the log down, okay? So I need you to go that way. Nope, turn your cab. There you go. Okay, good. Let's actually pull it in a little bit. Good. And come down. Okay. Can you lift your boom up? Yep, good. Okay. Go ahead and open your bucket slow. Other way. Keep going. Okay. Open your thumb. Okay. And you want to go up. Okay, now boom out. Yep. Curl your bucket. There you go. Okay. Let's put that on the ground. All right, good stuff, guys. Wow, making a lot of progress now that we've got the sawmill up and running. So we have a bunch of these log butts that are actually left over from the timber frame. If you remember, I think we were buying like 28-foot logs and we bought them all the same length because it was easier for the log truck. And we didn't know which logs were gonna produce what beams and poles and stuff. And so every log coming to us is 28 feet, but not every log did we need that from. So we have a bunch of these 3 to 5 foot log butts laying around. We were gonna just chop them up for firewood, but I thought, you know what, maybe someday we might need a 4-foot board. Guess what? That day finally come. So here we are, we've got all these log butts. I don't know how many we're gonna need, but we're gonna throw them up on the sawmill and try to knock out some lumber out of them. And hopefully we'll get the floor pretty quick and easy. Keep coming. Good. Perfect. Nice job. So you see how to use your machine to do heavy work? Like, we could probably move this log, right? But if you use that machine and you're gentle, you can just move it real easy, right? You got your pencil? Did you sharpen it? Dude, you want to know how to sharpen it? So if you just take a cut off of the end right here, cut the side and cut the side until you can see the lead, and then cut the flat side.
Ow.
Yeah. Perfect. Yep. And when you get down to the lead, you can be real gentle. That lead's really soft, see? So we just need to lay out a mark on this log real quick that'll give us the lumber that we want. So we're gonna draw a line over here, and it's gonna tell us where to set the saw depth. If we go for 8-inch boards, we're looking for maybe 7.5-inch boards. I'd love to have what's called a 2x10, which is actually 9.25 inches. So we're looking for 9.25 inches in here. This is 11.25, so that would be 9.25 inches from there to there. So let's go in just a little bit, and let's make a vertical line right there. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to use that mark, and let's make a mark this direction. So this is going to give us an 11-inch log. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut our boards this direction, okay? Because we're going to get more boards going this way than if we go this way. We're going to have a lot of waste. All right, we're pretty lined up, so I think we're ready for our first cut. $13 1/8. Nice. Water, saw guide.
Jesse.
Yeah. Bring us smoothies?
Yeah, I did.
Which one's mine?
The big one.
The big one. Ooh, what kind are they?
Strawberry, raspberry.
Wow. Smoothie 30. Cool. Do you mind putting mine in the shade?
Nope.
Perfect. All right, we're up and running, right? So the problem is that log is a little thicker on the butt than it is down here. Pull your tape measure. What's that measurement right there? 9.25. It's not quite big enough. So we actually need to go down just a little bit more. Oh wait, actually we're cutting our boards this way. We need like 10 5/8 right here. So it looks like we need to go down about 3/4 of an inch maybe. Let's just set that to the side. Already screwed up and I went for 11.5 instead of 12.5. Man, I'm losing my sawmill mojo, guys. Last one before smoothie 30. So we got 5 boards, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect. That's what we thought we'd get, right? Ooh, it's some good looking lumber right there. You know what else those would make really good?
Tables.
Also, you can jumps for your bike, but want them a little wider for your bike? You like plywood? Plywood's better. All right, let's pack these over to the saw. Actually, you know what? Let's make life easy and let's move the saw to us. So if you want to move these to the end of the sawmill down there, that would be easier. See these cracks in the end?
Yep.
That wood's no good. If you cut it, it'll just fall off. So we want to get rid of all that wood. And then what we're going to do, make that cut, we're going to measure from there 47 inches. That's garbage. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your pencil on 47 like this, and you're going to pull it away. Okay? Then you're going to put your pencil back on 47, and you're going to pull it away. The blade on this is 1/8 of an inch. So if you cut on this side, you're actually going to end up with a board that's 1/8 of an inch short. So what you want to do is make a mark something like this that tells you to cut on this side of the blade. Just pull the trigger. Okay, we didn't quite get there, so let me help a little bit. So it's probably a little too much to teach you today, but when you get close to the end of the cut like that, you want to back off and let the RPM speed up. You can hear it getting faster, and then make a quick cut. So there's our first board. How'd we do?
Great.
That's perfect. You feel that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And which side are you going to cut on? This side? So make a big X. Nice. Okay. Oh, nice. Good job. All right, you ready to load another log?
Yep.
Okay. 2 down. I think we counted 11 to go. We got 3 here, so we need 8 more. We're hoping we can get all that out of one log. So you're 1/8 of an inch under. Why do you think that happened?
I don't know.
You cut on the wrong side of the mark. So you should have been cutting on that side of your mark, but you cut on this side of your mark, and so you're 1/8 of an inch under. But that's okay for this. But you really got to pay attention to which side of your mark you're cutting on. So on this one, which side of your mark are you going to cut on? You're going to cut on this side, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure your saw blade, none of your saw blades on this side of your mark. So about there, right? You're perfect. So this time it's not going to hurt us, but if you're doing something really precise, that 1/8 of an inch could be the difference between throwing a board in the garbage and having a good board. So good job. Hey, watch fingers. Okay. Board's kind of interesting because see this right here? Look at this. That's not good. How bad is that? Is that all the way through the board? Here, let's kind of flip it over and look at it. So there's not a lot of it on this side, it's just mostly right there. So what we want to do is try to get rid of that. Every bit of that we can get rid of. So let's just take enough of this off to make this square. So let's flip the board around. Something like that. So now we've got absolutely the maximum of good wood. Now we can measure from that side this way and then cut off all that junk. Nice. Nice. That's totally rotten. Cool, so we just have a little bit of rot right there. So what we'll do is we'll hit that with some paint and just kind of protect it, and it'll just try to keep it from falling apart. This is a pretty decent board. It's not a perfect board. So what I did is I wrote end on it. So we'll put this on the end where it's gonna have a little bit more support instead of putting it out in the middle. So that's the second to last one. We just don't know how long the last, or how wide the last one is. So let's get the forklift over here. We'll put these in there and see what happens. There it is, front door service. All right, let's put the boards in. I get to do the first one. Haha.
Well, they always say first is second.
Yeah, right. Not too shabby.
Third is the one with the hairiest chest.
Here, you stay in there and I'll hand them to you. Here you go.
Man cabin, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be close. Last one. I'll be doggone.
We need to do one more piece.
Yep, we got one on the sawmill to cut for that. It's pretty good. It's not going anywhere. You can do a jig. Yeah, I know. It's like a trampoline. All right, we need another board. 6.5, 6.5. I guess we could go for 6.5. So here's the thing about this wood is it's probably gonna shrink a little bit because it's kind of wet. So these boards are gonna shrink a little bit. So there actually will be little gaps between them. So we probably better make that about 6.5. And then as they shrink, there will be little gaps. Okay, stop. Beautiful. All right, you ready to go? So if you get scared, scream. But I have my earplugs in, so I won't hear you anyway, so just be scared.
Okay.
It's been a long day, guys. Long day in the sun. It took a long time today to get the sawmill up and running. I feel really frustrated because I know the manual, like so many small engines, allows for use of ethanol-based fuels. And at this point, I'm really second guessing our decision to use ethanol fuel. In fact, we did that in our generators a lot, so it makes me really think about going back and kind of double checking those. Anyway, After hours of troubleshooting, I'm happy to report sawmill's up and running, which feels really good. It felt good to get back in the saddle today. I had a young man over, and it was a great opportunity for him to work with this equipment and to learn. He's proven himself to be responsible for his age. It seems like we're always too busy. We're just too busy to kind of help out, take people under our wing. I know I've talked to a couple of close friends of mine who share a lot in common with my background, and that is that we had fathers who cared a lot and who taught us what they could, but a lot of the big gaps in our knowledge were filled by other people, and I've tried to pay that forward when I have time. I feel very fortunate to be in the situation that I'm in, and of course to have some of the things that we have right now. Who knows when that will end? And so I feel some sense of pride in trying to, when possible, include young men, boys in this learning opportunity, because the funny thing is I'm learning while I'm doing this too, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to slow down a little bit sometimes and try to help out. We did really good today. We got the sawmill up and running. Actual 2-inch decking. This is exactly how I envisioned this going. We did cut them to a nominal dimension, which is 9¼ inches wide. So if the A board were to fail, you could in theory replace it with something from the lumber store, like a 2x10. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to add something to get some thickness to it, because the 2-inch thickness is gonna be a problem. That's something that we learned by building our deck, was think ahead to when you have a board that needs to be replaced and you don't want to have to run the sawmill. Of course, at the time we built that, we didn't have the sawmill. Anyway, it's a whole different point. The bad news is, because of all the delays with the sawmill, we didn't get as far as I wanted to get today. There's still quite a bit of work to be done in here. We do have some rain in the forecast. Right now the weather's been very cooperative, but we've got to get this thing protected. The last thing I need is a bunch of rust all over this steel. So I think we're gonna rest for tonight and then pick this thing up in the morning. And hopefully, maybe by midday tomorrow, we'll have at least some temporary protection on the metal. And there's a few other things that we need to tidy up, so we'll work on those mañana. What are you doing? Huh? Are you inspecting my work? Hey. Hey, what are you doing? Is there shade under there? I took the floor out. Yeah, you probably noticed that already. How many times did you inspect the floor last night? Huh? Shade and pets. Yeah, shade and pets. Alright, I gotta make more metal noises. Okay, you're not gonna like them. Yep, that's the least favorite of your noises, huh? Huh. Yeah. Oy. May have picked a really bad day for paint prep. We'll find out. So today, feeling a little bit more fresh. So I'm already knocking out my to-do list. Basically, I just wanted to do some touch-up grinding. Where these rails meet, these are pretty sharp. I think I'm gonna get my reamer and as good as I can try to ream these out and just get some of those burrs off there. To me, these are kind of just the finishing touches. Got these pins installed on the rail. Those feel super solid. I know you're not supposed to, but we all do. So we used to stand on those rails. You hook your lanyard to those rails, which we'll probably continue to do. We'll just clip on. You know, that way if you fall out, you're gonna just hang yourself. Yeah, and then some touch-up grinding, some welds that I wasn't proud of, some that kind of got away from me, things like that. And then just rounding off corners, making sure those things are not sharp, so if you do rub against it, you know, on accident, you don't gouge yourself. Waiting on the anchor seal to soak in. It's actually doing pretty good. I found with the logs, or I guess we found, yeah, you can see that, so there's nothing on my finger. Isn't that crazy? In fact, it's cleaning my finger off. So this anchor seal is kind of a waxy, oily, I think it's a citrus-based oil, I'm not really sure, but it's got some good wax in it and some good penetrating natural oils. And it's an end grain sealer. We use this on some of our logs. When you deck a log, you want to really seal up the ends so that the log doesn't dry out too quickly and you end up with all this splitting. So if we would have anchor sealed these log butts before we stuck them in the wood pile, well, we'd have had more usable wood. Probably will 2-coat the end of these end grains. I'm not sure what we're gonna do to protect the floor. I'll figure that out later. I have some ideas to make it fun, and I have some ideas to make it practical. So we'll see which one of those wins out. I'm actually really glad that I took the time to do some detailed grinding on this because I actually found a weld, one, that I missed. And it's on the railing pockets, which are pretty stinking important. So I've got to do a little bit of welding. Let's see, we need to install this entrance chain. So I wanted to get these rails hooked together first. That way this dimension is kind of set between the two opening rails. Remember from the earlier videos, if you haven't seen it, we were going to put a gate in here that opened. Actually, I was going to open it that way, and I realized that's ridiculous. Now you're blocking the man basket. And I was okay, well, let's turn it this way. And then my friend Justin was like, why do you even need a gate? Like, seems like a lot of work. I'm like, I can't argue with that. So we're just gonna weld a chain on here. We'll weld a loop that we can hook onto, and that'll basically keep you from falling out of the entrance hole. Makes it a lot easier for ingress, egress. Man, so then I think once we get that welding done, we're right here for paint prep, really close. Well guys, my fears are coming true. I'm looking off in the distance and I see rain. In fact, I'm seeing raindrops right now. Feels like ever since I started this project, I've been behind schedule, even though there isn't a schedule. I don't know about this spray paint thing. I don't plan on spray painting, I'll tell you that. I thought I would just grab some spray primer and just get it primered, and hopefully that would kind of protect it a little bit. Of course, throw a tarp over it. Painting is a whole nother project. Probably overkill for this project. I think a lot of you had probably been done already, but I like taking my time and kind of learning new things as we go, right? Better get this primer on here. I think that's probably gonna do it for now, for this project. If I get all of this primered and probably touch up that chain, get that finished so you can hook it and latch it, and then get this thing tarped, I think it's a great stopping point. Wiping this with Xylol definitely made a huge difference. I'm not going for automotive quality here, but it took off a lot of the pencil marks, the marks from the metal company, the manufacturer, and it took off a lot of the oxidation from the welds, and also quite a bit of surface rust. I was using the wire brush to remove the rust, just surface rust, and I feel like the Xylol actually did just as good, if not better job, kind of prepping this surface. And I feel like the primer is really sticking well. Hopefully this is good enough. I know these man baskets just get treated like a lawn ornament most of their life, aka neglected severely, left out in the weather and the elements and such. So hopefully we can take good care of this one and it'll last us a long time, and if the day ever comes we sell it, we can actually get a fair market rate for it. Oh, that's not a very beautiful weld, Jesse. Not my best work. Here comes the rain, guys. Here comes the rain. Maybe I should just stop now while I'm ahead. I don't know. Is that gonna ruin my primer? I don't know. Guess I'll pretend like it's not raining, and maybe I should sing some sort of summery song so that I can forget about the rain.